Myth number 1. You can fit a UE inside the GW Tiger P. So this myth was actually quite easy to test. So I am driving my filthy clicker and I simply spank my ass against a small cliff on Paris. And now the UE is about to drive on top and... I don't know what to say about this. It definitely looks like it's inside the GW Tiger P, but the thin sheet metal walls don't really have any collision with the UE, so it just looks a little bit weird. But technically, if you look at it from the side, it definitely looks like the UE is actually inside of the GW Tiger P. So, conclusion, it's a bit controversial since the sheet metal walls don't really have any collision with the UE, but from a side view it definitely looks like the UE is inside of the GW Tiger P, so therefore I call this myth confirmed. Myth number 2. If a Panzer Syphilis 4C shoots up vertically, it can kill itself with its own shot. So again, this myth was fairly easy, so here I am in my dev toaster, and as you can see I spent a full minute adjusting the gun perfectly to prevent any weird angles that the shell would possibly have. And once the gun was positioned perfectly, I took a shot and nothing happens? I don't know, since I can't see any shells hitting the ground anywhere around me. And after a few more shots, I knew for sure that there was no way that I was going to kill myself with my own shot. Conclusion: unless you are in artillery, there is simply no way that the shells come back to the ground when you fire vertically in the air. So therefore there's also no way to kill yourself with your own gunfire. So therefore I call this myth busted. Myth number 3. You can shoot down the airplanes on the Fiery Salient map. So I really have my doubts about this one, since it already looked quite obvious that it wasn't possible, since if you look very closely to the planes they look quite 2D-ish and not very detailed. So there is no way they actually have a collision model. But we tested it anyways, and after a few tries and a few confirmations from my testing squad, we quickly agreed that it just wasn't going to happen. So, conclusion, after shooting and actually seeing the shells fly straight through the planes, I can safely conclude that this myth is busted. Myth number 4. A T1 Cunningham can kill a mouse. So this myth was a bit more complicated, so it needs a bit more explanation. So basically my plan is to push the mouse up against the wall to reveal its belly. And if you take a look at tanks.gg, at the 3D armor model, you can see that the belly of the mouse actually only is 50mm thick. And if you take a look at the T1 Cunningham's premium penetration, it says 53mm. So theoretically it should be possible. But of course we tested this out, so I gathered my T1 firing squadron of doom, a mouse and the E100 to push the mouse in place. So yet again we went to Paris, and as you can see right here, I used the E100's big engine to push the mouse up against the wall to reveal its belly. And once the mouse got in position, the T1s opened fire and... holy shit, the mouse is actually taking some damage. So it seems to be working. But of course it takes quite a while to drain the massive 3000 hit the mouse has. But after a few minutes of constant firing and after a metric shit ton of tier 1 premium rounds, the mouse finally died. Conclusion: well, I think the clip spoke for itself, and honestly, I never thought that it was possible for a flipping tier 1 tank to kill the most heavily armored tank in the game. So therefore, this myth is definitely confirmed. Myth number 5. You can jump the Westfield bridge with an AMX-40 2.0. Okay, I know I already busted this myth, but there were so many people who commented that it was actually possible, and they linked me a video in it. So before I'm gonna do anything else, let's just test this one more time. So here we are, yet back again at Westfield, this time with a lot more horsepower than the first time. So we just started driving and driving and driving, and no, yet again the AMX-40 didn't even come close. But why did the dudes in the other video made it then? Well, let me explain. So here's the clip that everyone linked to me, so I'm just first gonna show the clip at whole, And after that, I'm just gonna explain why they possibly made the jump.
Oh, shit. So close.
Oh, yes!
We did it!
Oh man.
That's the best thing ever.
So if we take a look at that again, you can see that at first it's a very old patch of World of Tanks, so the physics were quite a bit different back then. And secondly, I think these guys got particularly lucky just because of this. So as you can see right here, you see that at first the AMX clearly is not going to make it. But suddenly, because of some random RNG factor, it gets one extra little push, resulting into getting to the other side of the bridge. So, conclusion, from my testing, the AMX-40 top speed is simply too slow and the tank is just simply too heavy to make it. But why did the guys in the other video make it then? Well, I think it's just a combination of very old physics and sheer luck. So therefore, I changed my conclusion to plausible. So it might still be possible in the current patch, but it will probably be a 1 in a million shot. So guys, that was all for this episode. At first, I want to thank you guys all so much for helping me out with this episode. But if you want to see Mythbusters appear more often on this channel, please drop a like. I would highly appreciate it. Also, if you're new, please make sure to smack that subscribe button so you will stay up to date with my future videos. And also, if you know any myth that you would like to see tested out, please make sure to drop them in the comment section down below. And who knows, you might see your myth appear in the next episode. But for now guys, I'm just gonna say have an awesome day and I'll catch you guys later.